service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lake Norman. Our fellowship walks diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but we are united by our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all, and the obligation to express our faith through acts of justice and compassion. We are an open and inclusive liberal faith community. All are welcome, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, ability, or economic status. My name is Lynn Henderson, and I've been a member of the congregation since it first began, and am now very happy to serve on its board. We'll begin today by lighting our chalice. We light this flaming chalice to illuminate the world we seek. May we be in the search for truth, may we be just, and in justice, may we be loving. I'm pleased to introduce our speaker today, Laurie Walker. Laurie has been a member of our congregation since it first began. Prior to that, she attended the UU Church in Charlotte. As a longtime yogi, she honors the interconnectedness of all beings and enjoys sharing practices that help others stay connected to the peace inside themselves. Her message today is titled, When in Doubt, Stand Still, honoring and holding on to wonder and finding harmony in anxious times. Laurie Walker.
During these trying times, we look for hope and guidance in our UU's seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence. This principle is a Unitarian Universalist expression of connecting to something greater than ourselves and looking for answers. UU minister Reverend Forrest Gilmore wrote, "The seventh principle can be expressed as the spirit of life, the ground of all being, the oneness of all existence, the community-forming power, the process of life, the creative force, and even God." In this spirit of connection, we also look to inspiration and guidance in the Yoga Sutras, truths from a solid original system that dates back centuries. The title of our service today was inspired by words from Julie Andrews, the original Mary Poppins and Fraulein Maria, who is known across the world for her crystalline singing voice. When asked about her most important life skill or life lesson, she responded, "When in doubt, stand still." This wise advice came to her from her own mother, and she said it was put to test when she lost one of her personal superpowers, her singing voice. When Julie stood still, she found other superpowers and has used them for the Human Rights Campaign, for the Alzheimer's Association, and other worthy causes. When we seek to develop a social understanding of ourselves, we may find our personal responses to what our culture so desperately needs. Maybe so. These words are a meditation today. Spirit of life, we humble ourselves before love. We commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. We face ourselves as individuals and as a people. We commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. We do not turn away from suffering human beings. We hold the entirety of the experience, the suffering, and our responsibility, and we commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. We see each other's tears and know we play a part. We commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. We humble ourselves to each other, knowing we cannot change the past, but we can build a different future. We commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. Spirit of life, we commit ourselves to the work of abundant love and healing. This is a chant for healing. If you'd like to take a moment to just close your eyes and settle. Ramadasa sa se su han. 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 Our story this morning comes from Buddhism and Hinduism. They used an image to describe the interconnectedness of all phenomena, called Indra's net. When Indra, the god Indra, fashioned the world, he made it as a web, and every knot in the web is tied to a jewel. Everything that exists or has ever existed, every idea that can be thought, every datum that's true, every dharma in the language of the Indian philosophy, is a jewel in Indra's net. Not only is every jewel tied to every other jewel by virtue of the web on which they hang, but on the surface of every jewel is reflected every other jewel on the net. Everything that exists in Indra's web implies all else that exists. So here's the full traditional Buddhist and Hindu story. Far, far away, in the abode of the great god Indra, king of heaven, hangs a wondrous vast net, much like a spider's web in its intricacy and loveliness. It stretches out indefinitely in all directions. At each node or crossing point of the net hangs a single glittering jewel. Since the net itself is infinite in dimension, the jewels are infinite in number. The sparkling jewels hang there, suspended in and supported by the net, glittering like stars, dazzling to behold. Close your eyes now and imagine what this magnificent jeweled net looks like, spread across a vast expanse of space. Now keep your eyes closed and move in close to one jewel in the net. Look closely and you will see that the polished surface of the gem reflects all of the other jewels in the net, infinite in number, just as two mirrors placed opposite each other reflect an image ad infinitum. Each jewel reflected in this gem you are gazing into also reflects all the other jewels, so that the process of reflection itself is infinite. Now open your eyes and know that you are a sparkling jewel in Indra's net, as is every person around you. Every jewel is connected with all the other jewels in the net. Every person is intimately connected with all the other persons in the universe. Each has an independent place within the net, and we all reflect and influence each other. A change in one jewel or person produces a change, however slight, in every other. Realize too that the infinite reflections speak to the illusory nature of appearances. Appearances are not in fact, reality, but only a reflection. The true nature of a thing is not to be captured in its appearance. However powerful that appearance might be, it is yet only a reflection of what is real. In addition, whatever you do to one jewel affects the entire net as well as yourself. You cannot damage one strand of a spider web without injuring the entire web. And you cannot damage one strand of the web that is the universe without injuring all others in it, whether that injury is known or unknown to them. This can work for good or ill because, of course, just as destructive acts infect the entire net, so do loving, constructive, compassionate acts affect the entire net. A single helpful act, even a simple act of kindness, will send positive ripples across the infinite net, touching every jewel and every person in existence. People are suffering. Our hearts break each day as we hear the rise in death tolls. Last week, the report of people seeking emotional help in this country rose to over 60%. This week, as we continued to reel from the effects of a global pandemic and an economic crisis that have both upended our lives, we all bared witness to footage of George Floyd lying face down on the ground under the knee of a police officer, dying while he begged and called for his mother. We find ourselves wanting to get back to normal, yet we realize for many people their normal is both tragic and painful. We don't need to get back to normal. We can do better. What we need is transformation. This transformation won't come from Netflix and chilling, spending endless hours surfing on the internet or buying the latest whatever on Amazon. Often when there's a crisis, people search for meaning and a deeper purpose in themselves. How? If you're in doubt, stand still. We grow the most with things that stretch us the most. And for some of us, standing still is stretching. It can be very hard to be still, to pause the usual distractions and take time to look inside. But I encourage you during this time to go inside the cave of your heart. The inner world has as much to offer as the external world. When we find a deeper understanding, we can move to what is possible. And as we move inward, we're not alone. In fact, it is a perfect time to connect to the endless, ever-connecting web in our story. This web holds timeless traditions of introspection like moving meditation called Qigong or yoga. Many solid original practices hold similarities and patterns that connect. Gregory Bateson, one-time husband of Margaret Mead, also renowned anthropologist, social scientist, and philosopher, was a thought leader in this way of thought of connections and patterns. What is a pattern, Bateson would often ask, that connects the crab to the lobster and the orchid to the primrose, and all four of them to me and to you? Our own 7 principles shines this type of system for a way as this type of system for a way of living that shines a light on the path for all of us, giving us guidance. The 7th principle speaks directly to interdependence, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Yoga has been passed on for centuries and is a comprehensive system for well-being that extends far beyond physical yoga postures. You don't have to be a pretzel to practice this comprehensive system. Yoga is literally a way of living. It is designed to bring increased awareness to not only your body, but your thoughts through various techniques and teachings. These teachings, or some of the teachings, are called yamas and niyamas, and they're part of the 8-limbed path of yoga. The yamas and niyamas are moral guidelines that help us move deeper into our own authenticity and can support a leap towards a more meaningful life. Finding connections for yourself in the web. 2 of them speak to reflection and discernment. One is called brahmacharya, which means something like walking while chewing on God, or driving with God as your co-pilot. Overall, brahmacharya is a practice of deep remembering, to go inward and take moments to reflect on your interdependence and your interconnectedness with all beings. And I find people are doing a lot of that. They're walking a lot in our neighborhood, and I see people as I am out driving around, walking their dogs. And I have also seen a lot of people almost like for the first time recognizing the sky and trees. I had to laugh about a week or two ago, a week or two into sheltering into place. I kept seeing on the internet pictures of clouds and trees, and it was almost as if people were just having revelations, like, oh my gosh, there's trees. But what I have to believe is people were starting to feel a connection to nature that they hadn't been feeling. But many people started going overboard, especially in my yoga community. Someone would show a picture of a tree and people would chime in, oh, that tree looks like a warrior, or I see a strong woman in the branches, or something yoga-ish like that. A friend of mine remarked to me she was so tired of people's interpretations of trees because somebody sent her a tree picture and people chimed in. One said it looked like a teardrop, and my friend said she thought it looked like somebody's private parts. So that aside, I do see a noticing. And I have felt it too in the many walks I've taken. I see birds that I've never noticed before and hear their bird songs. Or I see people in my neighborhood I've never smiled at before. It feels good, and it makes me feel more connected. So taking time for deep remembering. And this remembering is that we are part of a big interconnected web. Another part of the yoga, yamas and niyamas, another principle is called Ishvara Pradhanana. And it's to take shelter in something greater than yourself. To remember that there is a cause for everything in the universe, and following that causal flow allows us for a deeper understanding of ourselves, our lives, our place in the world. This second one requires a little bit of faith, which can be difficult for any you. Faith is not a word we easily pass around. So perhaps it is faith that we can be better, that we can be kinder, more compassionate, more loving. This moment, this day, this week, may we be open to the holy and mysterious presence that connects us with our own truth, with one another, with the people in the world, and with the rhythms of the earth. Let us be open to its power to free us from fears and unite us in hope. May it be so.
Thank you, Laurie. for your inspiring message this morning. And now we're fortunate to have a musical interlude from our own Mike Alicke.
Hey everybody, this is a Beatles song I chose called Across the Universe. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva, Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox, tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva, Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open mind, sighing and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns, calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva, Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. That's always appreciated. And now we have a few announcements. If you are a visitor, welcome. We're glad you came. And if you like what you have seen today and heard, and you're wondering how to stay connected or get more involved with our congregation, please reach out to our membership chair, Linda. Her email address will be found at the bottom of your screen. Members and friends, you've recently received a lot of information about our partnership with UU Forward Together to help with voter registrations right from your home. Please go to the link you'll find in our newsletter to learn more about how you can come together as a community to continue our fight for justice. On another note, we're hosting virtual cocktail parties through Zoom every other Friday evening at 5. So watch your email. You'll get an invitation to the next one and the Zoom link through which you can come and join. For our members, we appreciate you keeping your pledges current so that we'll be ready to resume at full speed ahead when life is more back to normal. We encourage members also to keep reaching out to each other whenever possible. It's even more important than ever right now that we work to sustain the deep bonds our community has formed. So now let us all go forth and live lives with integrity. Blessed be.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to announce that our congregation voted overwhelmingly to hire Reverend Pat Job to be our part-time minister for the next year. He will begin working with us at the beginning of August. He stated that his first goals as our minister are to help us find our next spiritual education teacher and make connections within and outside of our community to get our message to those who may not have heard it before. We are so excited to welcome Reverend Pat, and we all look forward to working with him over the next year, and hopefully many years to come. I also have an update regarding our postcard campaign in coordination with UU Forward Together and Reclaim Your Vote. Lisa Garcia Sampson has mailed me all of our postcard kits. As soon as I receive them, I will put together everything each volunteer needs and either mail them to you or deliver them to you directly. And in case you're wondering, it's not too late to sign up to volunteer. Just email me and I will make sure a kit comes your way very soon. Detailed instructions will be included, but feel free to contact me with any questions you may have. I hope everyone has a fantastic Sunday, and I hope to see you all in person sometime soon.
Our closing words come from Reverend Ashley Oren. So let's take a moment to ground ourselves, putting your feet on the floor, your hands at your energetic heart center. Take a breath. Feel rooted and connected. And these are her words. You are loved beyond belief. You are enough. You are precious. Your work and your life matters. And you're not alone. You are part of a we, a great cloud of witnesses, living and dead, who have insisted that this beautiful, broken world of ours is a blessing worthy of both deep gratitude and fierce protection. Our ancestors and our descendants are beckoning us, compelling us onward toward greater connection, greater compassion, greater commitment to one another and to the earth. Together we are resilient. We are resourceful enough to say yes to that call, to make it our own life's work in 1,000 different ways, knowing that we can do no other than bind ourselves more tightly together and throw ourselves into the holy work of showing up again and again, to be part of building that world of which we dream but have not yet seen. Go in peace and love. Namaste.